right, marketers, grab your overpriced standing desks and that oat milk latte you love so much, because welcome to Notorious B2B, the only show where we treat LinkedIn drama like breaking news and expose the real B2B marketing sins.
Yeah, think of us like SNL meets TMZ, but for the people who argue about whether gated content is still a thing or not. I'm Taz Bober, B2B landing page nerd and lovable troll on LinkedIn.
And I'm Tim Davidson, the guy making TikTok-style videos and cutting fruit on LinkedIn. Together, we're cutting out nonsense and roasting the most ridiculous trends in B2B marketing.
Because if we have to suffer through another 10 things getting engaged taught me about B2B sales, we're taking you all down with us.
Let's get into it. And we're back. Taz, how are you doing? Hey, Tim. Yeah, I'm good. All I know is we got a docket today. You ready to get into it? So, if you didn't notice, that was not Taz, and I'm doing a solo episode. Taz apparently takes her PTO, which is weird to me. This is B2B, okay? So who takes PTO? But regardless, I could not pass this week up because we have quite the docket. And I know I say that a lot, but no, this is a docket. And we're just going to jump in because it's been a pretty interesting week. And even just yesterday, we saw something very interesting. So just yesterday, Salesloft and Clari merged. Two huge sales tech leaders, I guess you can say, have decided to merge. It looks like the paperwork's going to go through on fall of 2025. And, we're not here to just talk about a merger or acquisition or anything like that. But I think what's most interesting to me is the shade that one of their biggest competitors, Gong, in the sales space, is throwing. And I'm all for it. So the first thing we all saw here, so actually the CEO and co-founder of Gong, Amit Bendov, he shared the Business Wire article about Clari and Salesloft announcing the merger. And his words were, powerhouse, ? More like group therapy. We'll send snacks. And, it kind of went a little crazy, as you expect. A bunch of engagement comments. And I think the people loved it. I just read some of the comments here. Josh Gillespie, keep that energy. Scott Elbro, pure savagery. LMBO, I don't even know. It's like an LMFAO type of spinoff. Did Harry Atkins, did Gong just little bro them? Brutal. Wendy's Twitter account right now clapping with a meme. The comments go on and on. It seems like people loved this. Me too. I think it's great. And there's also some other commentary, not just the CEO of Gong, which again, that's what's so funny is that the CEO of Gong is the one that posted that. The CEO just going crazy with it, which obviously probably opened up the floodgates for others. Another person from the Gong team that has been very active on LinkedIn, Brian Lamana, AE Gong, he's all over the place. But he even posts them. We are merging to form a powerhouse of big three. And when he says big three, Drift was acquired by Salesloft, I think it was 2024. And that's why he's talking about the big three. And the big three is 3 players from New Orleans, which I am assuming did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Don't even know who these people are. And then the comments, they're loving it. It's really, really funny. People love it. But moving on, what's even more interesting to me, another post here is, it's kind of pending actually. So Devin Reed, who's all over LinkedIn as well, he worked at Gong and Clari. So that's kind of interesting. He said, yes, I'm going to comment on the Clari merger today, in parentheses. Just getting clearance from my lawyer on what I'm allowed to say. Stay tuned. And hit like if you want a Gong versus Clari comparison, since I was the head of content at both. People liked it. A lot of comments. People are still kind of referencing the post of the day from the CEO of Gong. Very, very funny. A lot of popcorn emojis in the comment section. I personally am very, very excited to see what he says. He worked at both, and he was a pretty prominent player for both. So that's going to be interesting. The consolidation of tech is happening. We saw this with all the sending platforms, Sendoso acquiring a few of them. And then now we're seeing it with Sales Tech, Clari and Salesloft consolidating, who also, like I mentioned, acquired Drift a few days ago or a couple of years ago. So very interesting stuff there. Speaking of interesting stuff, I think it's very well known that many people don't like Microsoft Teams. If you've ever used it, it's very, very clunky, and myself included. I'm a big Slack fan, big Slack fan. I think a lot of people like to say that. And so you would think that Slack has majority of the kind of market share there. Unfortunately, that's not true. Last week, actually, Andrew Davies put out a post with a graph, which is most interesting here. Slack versus Microsoft Teams graph. that shows the number of daily active users over time from 2017 to 2023. Microsoft Teams is way larger. So what the graph is showing here is daily active users. And at 2023, Microsoft Teams at 280 daily active users. This kind of makes sense because even though I don't like it, it does kind of make sense because Microsoft Teams is known as the kind of enterprise play because of the security and all that. And so larger companies typically have it, which means more users. And it's, it's included in the Microsoft suite. But 280 Microsoft Teams daily active users. And then in Slack, you have 33 million daily active users. Quite the big jump there in difference. And which is interesting, and this graph only goes to 2023. Salesforce did acquire Slack, and Salesforce is the enterprise CRM. If you think about it like that, I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see this kind of change a little bit and they make it a little bit better in terms of like the enterprise style. But as of now, not. And that's where I think it's interesting because I hate it. I feel bad for them. I feel really bad for anyone having to use Teams. Maybe I'm biased, clearly, but I feel really, really bad for them. Now, if you think having to use Microsoft Teams is not fun, wait until you see what's going on in the job market. Recently, I've seen a couple posts on this where people are talking about the audacity in the pay versus what is being asked of you. I have two posts here that I thought were very, very interesting. One from Mathew, a senior copywriter. He actually posted this. He actually just showed the whole company. This is actually a LinkedIn post from Juice House looking for a lead creative and brand strategist. United States, remote work here, awesome. And the creative and brand strategist, how much would you think they pay? Probably more than minimum wage, right? No. The range for the position is 18K to 24K a year. What the? When I was, what was this, 2013 or 2014 out of college? That was probably the lowest, like 30K was like minimum wage. That's crazy to me. And, by the way, I love that they're actually adding the pay salary here. And that's great. But it's terrible. But there was an edit on the post that the agency actually responded about this. Here it is. From Juice House. Hey, Neil, appreciate you taking time to weigh in, but this is missing some important context. This is a freelance part-time role for a single client scoped at 10 to 20 hours a week with no executional responsibilities. The strategist is providing directional input only, brand positioning, meshing frameworks, and creative feedback, while our internal team handles all productions. In those two paragraphs alone, there was 3 M dashes, by the way. I'm not sure if that's AI or not, but The monthly compensation reflects that reduced scope and time commitment, not a full-time position. Totally get rates in this space can vary, M dash, but I'd also encourage a little bit more curiosity before publicly dragging a female-led agency that's trying to balance fair pay with real-world budgets, especially in an industry where even well-run production companies are fighting to stay afloat against VC-backed machines. This is not a heavy lift, but hey, M dash, thanks for giving our company some shine. A lot of replies here, and people are still calling him out. Oh, pushing the female-led narrative. It's a freelance job. There are no benefits. This rate is terrible. Did not have using female-led to dodge accountability. If it truly demands 20 hours a week, $23 an hour is a weak rate. Weak as in it's weak. Juice House about to be the next astronomer in the agency world. I was thinking the same thing, though. The way M dashes are used, I wonder if they're talking to me about that. That's hilarious. What's this? The pay is still way too low for 20 hours per week. Also, nobody in their right mind would take a salaried position with the level of variance in hourly rate that isn't very highly paid and full-time with benefits. At 10 hours a week, you're in the $35 hour range. So I love that they responded, but too many M dashes, by the way. They got called out pretty bad. I don't know. It doesn't seem as that bad if it's 10 hours a week. Because if you think about it, if it's at 24, that's like 100K. If you do 40 hours, that's like 100K a year. That's actually not bad. If you 4 times it for everyone. But people don't like it, which is fair. But that's the thing. It's not the only one. Because there's another post here by Ryan Knott who said, I just saw a job posting for a full-time content strategist. I'm not going to call out the company, but here's a description of the duties. We need someone who can own content strategy across 10 to 25 client accounts. Plan scroll stopping ideas, angles, and formats for each client weekly. Tie content strategy directly to KPIs like impressions, profile views, and booked calls. Understand what makes LinkedIn-specific content perform, hooks, POVs, frameworks, and lead magnets. Think like a strategist, not a copywriter. You won't write, you'll lead the direction. We write based on your ideas. We interview clients based on your prompts. You are the brain based on your prompts. You're a fit if blah, 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 blah. Guess how much the role pays? 30 to 36K a year. Content strategy across 10 to 25 accounts. Oh, fudge. This is brutal. Post clearly went crazy. 440 comments here. The best I can do is an intern part-time. This is 100% the most fun I've had ever had on LinkedIn. Everyone who commented or liked this post, feel free to connect with me. You are hilarious. That was Ryan not responding here. Puke emoji. Insane SMH. Shake my head. I'm sorry, I stopped reading after 25 accounts. This has to be a joke. I hope they provide room and board. That better be the annual bonus number. I really wish they just put the actual company with it. That's a 25 accounts, 30 to 36K a year. The audacity, the absolute audacity is crazy to me. Oof, that is brutal. Very, very brutal. That is brutal. I've been working in agencies forever. And one of the biggest qualms I've had is when you have to manage tons and tons of accounts. I've done 60 accounts as a paid media manager. I quit. I moved on to another company because of that. Like, it was brutal. And I made more than that, by the way. So, hey. And I was like pretty close out of college. That's freaking brutal. That actually hurts. That hurts a lot. But moving on, because we got some lighthearted stuff. But hear me out. It's not as lighthearted as you think. I guess it is, But I love this. So Buffer, the social media kind of scheduling platform, I know they do other stuff. They got analytics and all that too. But Buffer tends to be doing something way against the SaaS grain here. So Jenny Terry posted about this. On Thursday, Buffer is taking an intentional hit to our MRR, $14,000 to be exact. Why would they do that? A few weeks ago, we reached out to 1,200 customers who are on our legacy version of our paid plan, but haven't been active in quite some time. Jenny works at Buffer, by the way. So this doesn't make it as cool if it was someone else posting about it, but I think it's very, very interesting and way against the grain here. We let them know we are proactively canceling the subscription at the upcoming renewal. No action needed, no strings attached, just a note of appreciation and a reminder that they can continue using many of Buffer's best features on our free plan. We've been thoughtfully considering how to honor inactive customers who may no longer need a Buffer plan, a paid plan, while also stewarding our business responsibly. Starting with this group feels like the right first step. This means we'll take a $14,000 hit to our MRR this month, and we could end July with close to flat growth. We're focused on serving customers as best we can and doing it our own way. And this is just one of those several steps we're taking to prioritize generosity and trust over short-term games. Stay tuned. This is just the beginning. And there's a screenshot on the post from Buffer. It must have been what they sent to the actual people that they were basically canceling their paid plan. Hi there. We noticed that you have not been actively using our Buffer account since your last payment. We want to do the right thing by our customers and not charge you for a product you're not using. So we will be canceling your annual paid Buffer subscription at the upcoming renewal. You will still be able to access Buffer on our free subscription tier. Want to keep your paid subscription? Just reply to this email. Make sure it continues. Taking a break, no problem at all. You can always reactivate when you're ready to use Buffer again. Thanks for being a Buffer customer. We're here whenever you need us. Thanks. That's awesome. That's really awesome. I'm surprised they're doing it. To be honest, having them post about it seems like more of a PR play. I don't care. Do your thing. But imagine if many other companies did this in the SaaS world. It's not normal. It's usually the opposite. I just want to think about how many freaking subscriptions I've probably been paying for and just haven't used ever. It's sad. Really, really sad. 14,000 MRR is pretty big too. Especially when you're thinking about like growth goals and stuff like that. Like, that's a really big decision to have. Honestly, I think I love it. I love it. I really, really do love it. Good for Buffer. Let's see how long it takes. Like, if it was 14K MRR, that's something, right? That's not gonna, that hurts. Shoot, if it was 100K MRR, would they still do it? Probably not. I wouldn't. That's tough. People can, they can hopefully easily unsubscribe or hopefully easily cancel a subscription. But I could be wrong. I love the play. It's just, I wonder how it would play out for other companies if they did it. Obviously, to an extent, right? If you're losing a million MRR, probably not going to do that at all, ever. Speaking of things people should stop doing, the fudging comment gating posts. I love it from Buffer. Great job. What I don't love, though, is the comment gating. I'm over it. Look, I used to be all about it. Well, not really. I didn't really post about it or actually do it. I understood it. I played devil's advocate here. I get it, right? I'd comment. Like, I get why you get all the reach. You do. But it's gone too far. Too many people are starting absurd sentences with like, I replaced my 300K marketing team. I just replaced my 250K sales team with this AI framework. Comment growth plans 2.0 for the freaking thing that you're never gonna get. And it's so hard to use that like you just need to pay me to consult. Especially these NAN workflows. These are bull crap. But what's funny is they've been emerging, right? They've been emerging this past year. So many more of those have come out. You see them everywhere. They're rampant. But what's funny about it to me is that in the latest Q4 earnings report from Microsoft, Darren McKee, who's a great guy, absolutely great guy, actually posted about this. But in the Microsoft latest earning reports, it said that LinkedIn comments were up 32% year over year. 1 billion professionals on the blah, blah, blah. But regardless, time spent, so basically he says, he puts a little snippet here of a picture of it. Time spent watching videos on the platform was up 36%, which makes sense. They've been pushing videos. And comments were up 32% year over year. What's funny about that is I'm confident. I am overconfident that that is because of the comment gates. If you think about it, it could be the AI comments too. So I actually don't love this being in their earnings report, but it could be the AI comments. But I think it's a mix of that and the comment gates. I mean, it has to be. It 100% has to be. It's just true. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just true. It's not that the engagement is getting higher in the sense of like actual people commenting for real. There is that. I don't think it's gained 32% year over year. I think it's the comment gates and the fudging AI comments, which is probably, if they're putting this in the earnings report, it must be a metric that they're kind of measuring. So clearly, they're not going to try to get rid of the AI comments, which really sucks, by the way. But the comment gates is definitely also a part for this. It's just very interesting to me. I didn't realize that it was such a metric they were looking at, and they're actually going to put in the earnings report. The videos, it makes sense. They've been pushing that, pushing. But it's just the comments. I wonder how much of that is just gamed rather than, actual engaging comments, people like having conversations. And there's that, again, there is that, but I don't think it's as cool as it could be. I think it's more of a crap, to be honest. Speaking of interesting or crap, or I don't even know what you could call this. I'm sure you've all heard of the Sydney Sweeney commercial, the American Eagle one. We've all heard about it. And then, you go on LinkedIn and people are talking about it. Oh, here's a hot take. Here's what's good. Here's what's bad. Here's why it sucks. Here's why it doesn't. I don't care about that stuff. But what's interesting is the people that, now it's been probably a week, and it's the people that are now commenting about it with the weird stuff, I guess you can say. 3 days ago, actually, so this past week, Kat Peer talked about it in an interesting way. She said, Sydney Sweeney broke the internet in jeans. True. Normal hot girls are back in all capital letters. Not a DEI checklist, not an agenda, not a gimmick. Just a hot, confident woman in great jeans, and apparently that was way too much for the internet. The campaign didn't apologize. It didn't explain itself. It just worked. AE, American Eagle, understood the assignment. Thank you, American Eagle, for reminding the world being white, beautiful, blonde, and heterosexual isn't something to shrink from. Confidence doesn't need a disclaimer. And yes, being traditionally attractive is still allowed. Hashtag marketing with a backbone. As you can imagine, the comment section was very interesting, to say the least. Actually, the first one here, Benjamin is the character. Studies have shown that gay men are less likely to be overweight or obese, with some research indicating a higher likelihood of being underweight. Therefore, yes, heterosexuals should shrink. Interesting. All right, so Ryan Bum, here's another one. Everyone has covered the gross parts of this post, so just wanted to add the normal hot girls is one of the most boring things I've ever read on the internet. True. So Olivia here says, so you're defining traditionally attractive as white and blonde, tone deaf, and cringe, honestly. Ooh, that was a tough one. Yeah, the list here goes on and on. Did Sydney tell you she's heterosexual? Because that is a lot of assuming my dude. I don't know about that one. I was so scared of being a hot girl all year. I felt so targeted, attacked, like I need to shrink from hotness. Now I feel safe thanks to AE and Sydney Sweeney. Yeah, people, a lot of cringe comments. People didn't like this, and I think that's fair. I think it's very fair. And there's even a better take here from Bridget. I'm a big fan of Bridget here on the old Linky. and some Slack channels. I've seen her on a few Slack channels over the time too. She's clearly talking about this post, by the way. And she actually links in a comment to the post. But she says, I'm sorry you really thought that your people were going to protect you and your bad take, question mark, question mark, question mark. B2B marketing is a small world. Super stoked to see everyone ratioing her in the comments is a first connection, LOL. These are my people. She's basically saying that post I just talked about got the flack it should have, and rightfully so. You know, great comments in this. Some people thought it was satire, especially Troy here. You're required to post a link in the comments. Oh, she did. Well, she did. What a way to find out that this person blocked me, and what an honor. From Amber Rhodes. Oh, wow. So Cat Pierre blocked her. Interesting. Clearly, a lot of bad feedback on that post from Cat Pierre over here. You know, I got nothing to weigh in on here. Do what you want. Say what you want on this platform. But for a platform that is very, very nice overall, LinkedIn, she got blasted. Very, very much destroyed. And I love that part. I think that's the fun of LinkedIn when it's not so mean. In other news, let's get back to the cool stuff. So Devin Reed is back at it here. He's becoming main character energy in this episode here. He was actually scammed out of some money from a rapper. So Devin Reed posted this week. Well, this was unexpected. I heard La Russell, an upcoming Bay Area rapper, to be on my podcast. We signed a contract. I paid the $1,500 deposit. Then he no-showed, took the cash, and went completely dark. It effing sucks. I'm a huge fan of his music, or was. So to get ripped off like this really stings. This isn't investor money or a victimless crime. I paid for studio time, production costs, and his fee out of my pocket. If you've ever been played, let down, or just took a loss, so have I. And that's just part of taking creative bets. Sometimes you swing and miss, whether it's fair or not. Here's what went down and what I'm doing about it. What do you think? Should I let it go or pursue legal action? Essentially, up-and-coming rapper, which his name's La Russell, got paid $1,500 from Devin Reed and skipped town. Did not show and just ghosting him. Who better to weigh in on this than Ding Zhang, who is the sales rapper. Again, no free plugs here, but that's by accident. Who also posted about this soon after it. Who says, the rapper La Russell scanned my best friend, or my friend Devin Reed. I can't let that slide, so I made a diss track. Devin Reed's a cool guy. He's got incredible GTM acumen, a killer sneaker collection, and a dope podcast called Read Between the Lines. Devin is a great guy, I will say that. He just goes through the whole thing, and he made a diss track. So here's the diss track.
Now committed.
I'd be surprised when Russell his fans. You signed a deal with Devin Reed, took his money and ran. How you talking big game about loving your fans, but when it's time to do the work, you start running a scam. Let me teach you about some ethics you clearly do not have. If someone pays you money to appear on a podcast, and then you sign the paperwork, that's called a contract, and you're legally bound to whatever terms are on that. Devin was a big stand, show love, drop cash. I don't like you at all. As a human, you're hot trash. Thought it would blow $3K for the episode. You know, showed stole $1,500, and then you go. The whole thing was quite weird. And since you used to work in aerospace, you should know that shit don't fly here. You ain't got no hit, boy, to fund when your rent due, so you mislead fans and steal the money they send you. Fake ass hypocrite, what's funny is to me it's clear that La Russell isn't good company to keep. You'll try to let it die down, but silence won't save you. Why you try to play the people trying to pay you? Wasn't the best look, but that's what happens when you falling off, dog. You're La Russell Westbrook, untrustworthy and musty. That much is clear. How the hell you 30 and you still got a struggle beard?
Ding posted this one day after Devin posted about it. The turnaround time there is stuff that marketing teams dream of. Absolutely dream of. To be honest, this sucks. It really sucks. I personally don't think that Devin should pursue legal action for $1,500. Yes, that's some money and the principle's all there, but like it's not worth the time and effort. Like his time is worth way more than that. But also like for La Russell, like it's a small world out here, man. Like $1,500, you're gonna skip out for $1,500, $15,000. I could see why you'd do that. $150,000, yeah, I could see that too. $1,500, too small, man. That's crazy. Russell, you clearly will never listen to this, but if you do, man, just give it back. That's too much. That's ridiculous. I've never seen anything like $1,500. I mean, who am I to judge though? I guess I don't know. I've probably done stupider stuff. I don't know. Stupid. Now, if we're talking about stupid stuff, we got to talk about people stealing posts. And there's a couple just this past week that kind of came to light. By the way, we see this all the time. People are always stealing posts on LinkedIn. It's just the truth. We see it all the time. It's what happens when you get a post goes wild. But this was pretty interesting because not only did this person steal the post word for word, essentially, they added a plugin at the bottom and then they defended themselves. Like it didn't even matter. So this came to light from Angela Snyder, who posted about it. Ugh, today I saw a post in my feed that I'd seen before, written by a different person. But what really got me this time is there were people calling her out and she stood her ground. Didn't apologize, didn't edit the post to give the original poster credit, nada. Just gaslit us and said, I'm still spreading the message. Why does it matter? She goes on, blah, 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 whatever. The comment sections show the original posts, a couple other examples. And here's the posts, right? So I have them side by side here. The original poster was Stacy KB, who said Lenza is a scam, Swoops is a scam, blah, blah, blah is a scam. And then kind of goes on the whole list, ends with LinkedIn, can you make it to where we can block a company or at least never have it show up in suggested jobs or search results again? We're tired of these resume farmers. So all these companies are basically resume farming. Not aura farming, resume farming. And so this post was a month ago. This is what Angela was talking about. And then a day ago, so a month later, Erica T with a dot, Erica T dot, posted literally the same exact post just yesterday, but ends it with Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, free webinar sign up here with a link to, which is actually Erica's Calendly. Okay, so it must be, okay, so it is a webinar. It's a Calendly link. So steals the post, adds the call to action link, which is hilarious to me. Post goes crazy, by the way. The original one did really, really crazy. 7,500 likes, 692 comments, 791 reposts. The one from yesterday, the steal, still went pretty crazy, probably half of it. 284 comments, 325 reposts, 2650 likes and all that. But what's funny is there's some people commenting in here saying credit Stacy B for posting this a month ago. Called her out. Awesome. Why steal? And then someone else says, why steal this post instead of sharing it to spread the word? And this is where it gets funny because Erica actually responded. Message is being shared. Still hasn't edited the post to give the right credit. People respond to her, and then Erica responds, someone sent it to me as an awareness message. Blah blah blah. People are like, okay, why aren't you crediting the right person? And then actually Erica starts kind of battling within the comment section here, saying stuff like, we definitely get this post from your page. The message is out there, and I gain nothing from this, except for the post, the call to action link at the bottom, by the way. So I don't think that's completely right. But Angela even isn't in the comments here, is calling it all out. People are not happy about it. No, another person said, so she's kind of defending herself like, I didn't do anything wrong. What's funny to me, again, is that, yes, stole it word for word. If you're trying to just get the message out there, great, do the credit thing. But also the call to action link at the bottom is hilarious to me. Steals the post. Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Free webinar, sign up here. That's what's really funny to me. That's the most funny thing in the world to me, to be honest. Like, that's hilarious. And look, this has been going on for a long time. People have been stealing posts on LinkedIn forever. Like, there's that one of the plane about the survivor bias that's been posted 1 billion times by 1 billion different people, the same text, all that. People are stealing posts all the time. I've had posts stolen, maybe like reworded a little bit. I mean, I don't like it. I'm not saying I guess it's not terrible, but I don't like it. I think it's stupid. I think it's silly. I think there's ways to do it also. I think you can steal from people, but reword it for your industry, or like completely reword it. Like concepts, you can steal concepts. Like there's nothing you can not, like every concept is pretty much out there. I just think it's really funny how they used it, then add the call to action. Like that's the funny thing to me. LinkedIn's ripe for this. And I say LinkedIn, but it's not completely LinkedIn. Go on Instagram, go on TikTok. Those are videos. People are just like ripping things and just, it's a free for all out there, to be honest. Let's just be very, very clear. Absolute free for all. And AI is obviously making it worse. It just is. And that's why AI, we actually called the new section here for AI kind of content called Big Prompt Energy. And if you didn't see, It's a pretty big story, actually. Sam Altman actually went out and said that you shouldn't put your kind of legal, like if you do put legal issues into ChatGPT, they can be used in court, which is kind of scary if you think about it for a lot of people, because they're using ChatGPT to kind of figure out solutions to things. And now that we know that you can actually, it's right for the courts. Like that's a big thing to think about. I actually saw this first from Lena Vandenberg, co-founder and the co-CEO at Chili Piper. PSA, any conversations you have with ChatGPT can be used against you in court. A recent federal court ordered OpenAI to preserve all user logs, including deleted chats, for potential legal discovery. That means that your AI chats are now treated like emails or text messages, subpoenable, admissible, and open to scrutiny. That's brutal. Not really. I guess not really. But I think the whole thing with that is just like, we don't know. AI is so young. Like, we don't know what we don't know. Like, we know emails and text messages are subpoenable. We didn't know that. I guess we didn't realize that ChatGPT is gonna be like that too. I don't know why we didn't, but we just didn't realize it. And so, like, if you think about that, like, you should be more careful about what you put into AI, especially like CRM information. And like, I know HubSpot like connects to, and it's just like, now CRMs are gonna be, all that information is just gonna be accessible in AI. I guess the question is like, where does it end there? That's what's interesting. Speaking of ending, retention rates flailing right now. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. Solo episode. I'm not sure if I love it or hate it. I kind of miss making fun of Taz a little bit. So retention rate.
And that's a wrap on Notorious B2B, where we expose the nonsense and remind you that most B2B marketing is just a very expensive guessing game.
Don't, and post a passive-aggressive LinkedIn poll about it. We'll still find you.
And if you have B2B drama we should cover, slide into our DMs. We accept screenshots, leaked internal memos, and questionable brand rebrands.
Until next time, keep your marketing unhinged and your LinkedIn bio free of the words growth hacker. See you later.
Later, skater.